Welcome to another episode of Preparing for the Unexpected. I'm your host, Alex Fullick, and as always, we like to talk about things related to disaster recovery, business continuity, personal well-being, COVID, crisis management, anything that's relatable to those subjects, and anything that helps you, your organization, or your community plan for, respond to, and overcome adverse situations. Today, I want to talk about introverts and extroverts and how COVID has changed that. I spoke with Dr. Jamie Grumman from the University of Guelph, and we recorded an episode for Preparing for the Unexpected on the Voice America radio network. I believe it aired in August sometime, so check that out, Preparing for the Unexpected, voiceamerica.com, and you'll find the episode there, August, September timeframe. And we talked about, introverts and extroverts, how under COVID, introverts seem to be thriving because they enjoy the aspect of working from home for the most part. They're not being interrupted by people over the cubicle wall, or in the lunchroom or in the when they go get a coffee. And someone who always wants to talk about what the latest show was, that's popular on cable television right now and what the latest gossip is. A lot of introverts don't really go for a lot of that for the most part. Extroverts, who thrive on that social interaction, talking with people as you're going down the hallway. They speak up in meetings. They're the life of the party, so to speak. They're always in the forefront, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that they're outgoing. They know everybody. They talk to everybody. They thrive in that situation. COVID has changed that now. Extroverts don't have that capability to be as social now. They're at home. Some of them may be working in a situation where they're alone during the day. If they single or live alone, maybe they have a dog or cat or something, maybe not. They're not thriving as much. They're not feeling as engaged. They're being impacted. Their well-being, their mental health is being impacted because they've lost that social interaction. They don't have the ability to talk to everyone they want to. And when they do, they're talking with a work colleague, but a lot of times it has to be work related. That social break, when you're walking down the hallway and you just say, hey, did you see that football game last night? Or the hockey game, or whatever the case may be. That's gone. It's not there. Introverts, they're thriving because now they're at home and they don't have someone looking over the cubicle wall or sitting beside them or stopping in the hallway. How was that game last night? Did you catch such and such show? Did you hear about XYZ? Whatever the case may be. I talked with another colleague a little while ago, and he told me a story of a vice president that he was having a conversation with. And I can't remember if it was in his organization or at a competitor's organization, but they were talking about how one person who the vice president thought they were going to have to maybe let go for not for bad performance. They weren't performing. They weren't doing as well in the office. They weren't really engaged. They weren't accomplishing timelines and giving proper deliverables. How it was expected and things like that. And the vice president thought, I'm probably going to have to get rid of this person. Then COVID hit. That person is now working at home. They're an introvert, and suddenly they're thriving. They're doing fantastic at home. They're meeting all their timelines. They're getting things done. They feel engaged. They are, when a meeting comes up and this person is attending, they're getting things done. They're asking questions. They're enjoying themselves. They're a completely different person. And it's because all those interruptions, being an introvert, they're now in an environment that's conducive to who they are and how they work. So they're doing better. What happens now to that person if that vice president or the vice president's organization says everyone has to come back to the office? You had a thriving extrovert who's now not thriving because they're working from at home. They're not as engaged. They've lost that social interaction, is going to do great again because they go back to the office. And this one person who wasn't doing great, who is doing great at home, is now going to be told to go back to the office, and all of a sudden could just fall back into the old ways and not be performing. How are organizations going to handle that? Leadership, you're going to have to take that into consideration. Who's performing, who's not performing? Because who might have been performing now, it's different. The environments are different, for different people. Working at home, they do better. I work better at home. I because I'm not one who likes to wander around, the water cooler and chat about everything under the sun. I like to focus. This is what I got to get done right now. We'll talk when I'm done, but this is what I need to do. These are my goals. Leave me alone. Don't bug me. You'll get me off track. You'll cause a problem. While others, enjoy that. And that's fine. An organization needs both, to do that. I think they both push each other, and help each other. But sometimes, if you find someone's thriving in a different environment, like working from home, why would you want to pull them out of that environment and make them an underperformer again? Can you really point the finger at the introvert or the extrovert who's not performing or is performing, and then have them switch and then complain, later that why isn't that person the same anymore? You caused the problem by making them go back to an environment they're not comfortable with. So I think a lot of organizations are going to have to consider this when the time comes. Hopefully it's not an if, but when. We just don't know when. Organizations and communities and governments all say, okay, everyone, it's now safe to go back to the office. And we start pulling people back into the office. Maybe there's some situations where we just say, you know what, Alex, you stay at home. You don't have to come in. You're doing much better. Or maybe come in once a week. Make some sort of a, an equal balance in there somewhere. But I think organizations now have to take into account extroverts and introverts and how each is behaving during COVID-19. We're all impacted, but we're all responding and feeling a little bit different. So organizations got to take this into account. It's not as easy as everyone get back in the office. If you liked that video, thumbs up. If you didn't like that video, thumbs down. But leave a message and let me know what your thoughts are. If you'd like to be a guest on the show to talk about something related to business continuity, disaster management, COVID, personal well-being, anything that's relatable to those subjects, you can reach me through my LinkedIn profile, which is in the video description. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. In the meantime, stay prepared, everybody.